Hello, good day everyone. So, thank you for being here today. And by the way, this is Raimona Alimudin, and I am here to talk to you about the chapter 2, which is the Bartonella and Afipia. So, the genera Bartonella and Afipia are able to grow on chocolate agar and albeit very slowly on routine blood, which is Tripticase soy agar with 5% shaped blood agar, typically appearing after 12 to 14 days and sometimes requiring as long as 45 days. Neither organisms grows on Manconi agar. Presently, there is no optimal procedure for the isolation of these organisms from clinical specimens. Because of these similarities and because two organisms, Bartonella hensley and Afipia felis, cause the CSD, these genera are addressed together in this chapter. So, i-explain ko ang routes of transmission for Bartonella infection and the organism's interaction with the host. So, people can get CSD from the scratches of domestic or feral cats, particularly kittens. The disease occurs most frequently in children under 15. Cats can be infested with infected fleas that carry Bartonella bacteria. This bacteria can be transmitted from a cat to a person during a scratch. Bartonella hensley is a zoonotic bacteria which may cause cat scratch disease or CSD in humans. Zoonotic bacteria refers to any bacteria which can be transmitted between animals and people. Now, Bartonella hensley spreads between cats. With the help of a cat flea called Tinocephalitis felis, which feeds on the blood of an infected cat. Then it drops its feces with contained Bartonella hensley onto the cat's body. Finally, when the cat grooms or scratches, Bartonella hensley gets on its teeth and claws. And the cat may infect a human by scratching or biting. Hence the name cat scratch disease or cat scratch fever. There is also bacillary angiomatosis, which is a severe form of a cat scratch disease that develops primarily in immunocompromised individuals.
Hi everyone! So here's the video about the criteria used to diagnose Bartonella henselae.
Bartonella henselae is another bacterium transmitted by fleas, and a recent study has shown the potential transmission of Bartonella quintana. Cat scratch disease is mostly due to the Bartonella henselae after inoculation of the organism through a skin injury. Since a causative bacteria cannot be easily cultured from human lymph node sample, the diagnosis usually relies on epidemiological, clinical, histological, and serological criteria. A study was performed to determine the diagnostic value of PCR analysis for the detection of Bartonella henselae for the diagnosis of CSD and its place in the diagnostic strategy alongside the classical criteria. Over a 7-year period, lymph node biopsy specimen or Cytopunctures from 70 patients were systematically tested by PCR for the presence of Bartonella henseli DNA in the bacteriology laboratory of Hopitox Universitaris de Strasbourg. Serological testing by an immunofluorescence assay for Bartonella henselae antibodies was also performed for each patient, and clinical, epidemiological, and histological data were collected. The patients were then divided into two groups according to the number of the positive diagnostic criteria for CSD. 29 patients with the definite CSD, which is two or more classical criteria, and 15 patients with the possible CSD, which is less than two classical criteria. The remaining 26 patients for whom another diagnosis was retained were used as control group. Among all criteria, PCR analysis had the best specificity, which is 100%. The PCR assay for Bartonella henseli was positive for 22, 76%, 95% confidence interval. When then studied combination of the diagnostic criteria, including Bartonella henseli PCR analysis, the best diagnostic performance was observed if at least two criteria were present among serologic, epidemiologic, histological, and molecular criteria.
Direct diagnosis Bartonella grow on mouse blood enriched. Media when incubated at 37 degrees Celsius, which is 99 degrees Fahrenheit, and an atmosphere containing 5% carbon dioxide. Bartonella can also be isolated in various cell lines and tissue culture with an shell vial culture techniques increasing the recovery rates. Bartonella cannot utilize heme-raised scavenger molecules of the host, such as lactoferrin or transferrin, although several liquid media have been shown to facilitate replication of Bartonella. Semi-solid agar, which is 1.5% agar, provide the most reliable substrates for routine growth and monitoring for contamination. Commonly used crude media Bartonella include chocolate agar, hymen agar, or various blood agar. For optimal growth, pH of the media should be 7.0 to 7.5. Most Bartonellae are both microaerophilic and capnophilic. These conditions are typically achieved by using a carbon dioxide incubator, although a candle extension jar is suitable. Most pathogenic Bartonella are routinely grown at 35 to 37 degrees in humidified carbon dioxide-rich environment. B. bacilliformis is a notable exception and requires a cooler temperature, which is 25 to 30 degrees Celsius and ambient carbon dioxide for growth.